Good morning. Welcome. We are really excited this morning, but we're gonna hang out for a minute as always and let everyone get a chance to log in. If this is your very first Zoom webinar ever, which I highly doubt, you do have a chat window at the very bottom. Go ahead and open that chat window up. Make sure you change that blue drop down to everyone. And say good morning. Let us know where you are joining from today so that we can say hello. First in there was Miami, Florida. Welcome.
I wouldn't mind being in Miami, Florida right now. I'm not gonna act.
I just saw a British Columbia in there. Lots of prayers to British Columbia. British Columbia has over 400 wildfires right now. That's my home. I grew up in BC. Tough to see. Ooh, we got a great engaged group this morning. I'm excited. Everyone is very excited to hear from our panelists.
This is going to be great too, because this is the whole point. It's to start conversations and have conversations with everybody. So I'm excited. We got a good crew, and the numbers are still cruising up. So
love it. Okay, well, we want to be really respectful of everyone's time today, so we're going to get started. If you just joined us, good morning, welcome. Open up that chat, say hello, let us know where you're joining us from. I just see someone from Germany. Awesome. We got people from across the ocean joining us. My name is Alicia. I'm the national speaker here at BombBomb, and we are so excited that you've joined us today for this panelist discussion. We're going to jump in. Awesome. Ryan, our third panelist, just joined us. Ryan, you haven't missed anything. I'm just going over housekeeping. We haven't even introduced everyone yet. We're going to be having a panel discussion today with 3 different BombBomb customers. As you see, the chat is on fire this morning, so that you can use this chat throughout the webinar. If you see something awesome that you're like, oh, I've done that before, that was really cool, or I experienced that same thing, let the people know in chat that's, that you're feeling the love. We also have a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen as well, okay? We're gonna make sure that we have lots of time today for these panelists to answer your questions. So if you have specific questions pertaining to the content, something that you want the panelists to answer, go ahead and use that Q&A box. We also have Mario today. Mario is one of our awesome support team members here at BombBomb, and he's going to be hanging out in chat and Q&A trying to answer some of those questions if it's more technical or things like that. I think that's all the housekeeping. Kevin is my wonderful co-host today. Kevin, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then you can introduce the panel and we'll jump in.
Absolutely. I'm so excited about this. The only thing, maybe you mentioned it and I didn't hear it. We always get questions, is this being recorded? Yes, we record these every single time. They're always live on our webinars page on the website within a couple of days, and we will always follow up the recording and email it to you all. So just know, if you hear something, if you miss something, you're going to probably hear a lot of really awesome nuggets today. So, find the 1 or 2 that really land home for you. But if you always want to review this, 100% we will send the recording out. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kevin Andrews. I am the client enablement manager here at BombBomb. So really, that's just a fancy way of saying I get to do cool stuff like this. I get to talk with you guys and try to help you all be as successful with what you want to be successful with as possible. So I work on the customer success side of the house, and I'm coming up on 7 years at BombBomb. So I haven't quite caught Alicia yet, but I'm trying. I'm doing my best. So
8.5.
Oh gosh, I got a long way to go. All right, thanks for rubbing it in. Welcome everybody. Good morning or good night. I saw Greece, I saw Germany, I saw some international people here. We're really excited you're here. We are more excited than ever that we have guests with us today too. So we're going to go through, give a little quick opportunity for each of them to introduce themselves and just talk through kind of 1 or 2 minutes, what they do, where they live, what their role is. And then I also, just because I have to kind of be that dorky, let's get to know you better, I brought up just a funny little icebreaker question. Ryan, I promise this was not planned. about the excuse that you've heard for being late. I swear this was not something I thought was going to happen. I really did have this planned, but what is the best excuse for being late you've ever heard or used when you've hopped into a meeting? So Tom, I'll throw it to you first. Give us a little intro about yourself, and then would love to hear your answer to this question as well.
Sure, that's great. Thank you. I'm Tom Griffith. I am geographically in the Northwest. I'm kind of south of Portland, Oregon. And actually, as a place that gets some wildfire, I do want to comment as well. That's very frightening, and I know those people that are suffering from that. We've had your smoke, so that's a bad deal. So as a Northwest guy, I know what that's like. I'm an independent mortgage banker. I've spent many years in the saddle in the lending side of the real estate world and consumer finance for a long time. So I'm excited today to have a chance to be here and just share how video fits for me. And if somebody finds that valuable, I think that's awesome. This path I've been on, happy to share that story. I think best excuse I ever heard of or saw used, and its simplicity was really powerful for me. Had a meeting that required an attorney and there were several of us waiting on this attorney to arrive who kept us waiting quite some time. And we all reached the place of like, dude, seriously? I mean, what could this be? He comes through the door, cool as can be, and says, I'm sorry, I was detained. And that was all of his excuse, and left no one with the ability to respond. And we were like, okay, cool, right. You were detained. So that's my answer.
That's awesome. Marilyn, give us a little intro for you.
Good morning. My name is Marilyn Sparks. I'm a farmer's agent in Southern California. I also serve as the Los Angeles County Insurance Commissioner, and just love helping people as best I can. The best excuse I've heard for being late was from somebody that was supposed to join a Zoom meeting, and they said, sorry, I'm late. I didn't think the beginning would be very important.
Oh, well, there we go. People being real, people being honest.
Is that why you were late today, Ryan?
Oh, Ryan, you're muted if you're trying to talk.
Yeah, no, I was actually late because I'm standing outside of a project, and I thought it would be a great conversation around BombBomb to explain why we utilize video. And so I'm looking at a house, the painter's getting going, and believe it or not, the Zoom wouldn't perform the update on time. So that is probably one of the lamest excuses I've ever given. But one of the best excuses I've ever heard was, in my previous life, I was a police officer, and I told this woman we would not give her a ticket today. I'd walk back, check her for warrants, come back up. She's free to get out of a ticket. Just give me a really good excuse. That's all I needed. Something creative, something clever. She said I was sorry. Wasn't even good. But I gave her a ticket anyways. No good, no creativity. You get the ticket. So yeah, that was, no, I've heard some doozies, but no, mine today was absolutely sad and pathetic. So forgive me.
Hey, you're fine. We're glad you're here, man. Thank you for being here and give us some time.
And why don't you go ahead and give us an introduction, let us know what you do, and then we're going to jump in.
Yes, ma'am. So I own a real estate brokerage and a separate company that does property management. I've been using BombBomb for a while. I couldn't even tell you how long, but I'm a talker more than a typer. I can type, but once I realized I didn't have to anymore, I've been using BombBomb for, like I said, a couple of years, I think at a relatively high level. For not only sales and talking with consumers that way, I use it on the daily. So I use it just to send emails.
That's awesome. Alicia, I want to hear if you have any good excuses. Have you heard any good excuses for being late?
Oh man, I can't think of any off the top of my head. They're usually my excuses because I'm chronically late. So I don't know
that. I didn't know that. See, now I'm learning about you as well. I will say the best one I've had lately, because I have young children, is I was a few minutes late and I was like, I am so sorry. I literally had poop all over my hands. And most people had a lot of grace for that situation at the time. They're like, yeah, don't show up. Take that time. So, well, I want to start a little bit from the basics with all of you guys and hear what started to get you interested in video from the get-go. And this could be BombBomb related. If you started with BombBomb initially, if you were doing things Tom, I know you've been using video for quite some time. So Marilyn, I'll throw it to you first, but what started to pique your interest in going, oh, I need to start using video. This is something I'm interested in.
Well, I attended a forum very similar to this through that was hosted by farmers. And I thought, oh, I don't know. It seems like a lot of work. But then our district manager uses them for a Monday Minute once a week, kind of give us what's going on with farmers, what we need to be on the lookout for. And then I got a new client and a referral partner. His name is Ryan Otteson, and he uses them religiously, email and text. And I thought that is super cool. I need to step up my game. And it was just a really cool way to connect with my clients virtually, face to face.
That's
Marilyn,
awesome. So yeah, go ahead, Alicia. I'm sorry.
Marilyn, would you say that getting those videos from Ryan and from your district manager was sort of like the aha moment for you?
Not necessarily my district manager, although if anyone from Farmers is here, Tim Rowe, we all love T Rowe. But it was really Ryan that helped inspire that, because Ryan, what you see is what you get. He's the same person in person or on a video, and it just seems so much more personable, especially when he does these video introductions. It's very cool.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, Ryan, we got to hand it to you now to respond to that. You're getting a lot of praise already from Marilyn, which is a good way to go. But what got you started in this? I mean, she talked about your video introductions and things. When did video click for you?
I was just thinking, note that on my account. But
yeah.
yeah. No, so so BombBomb I fell into it. Video early on for me is, as you can tell, and I said it before, I love to talk. It's a gift, it's a curse, whatever you want. But understanding that our industry was moving, right? So whether you love the real estate mortgage industry, you hate it, you love it from a consumer perspective, it doesn't matter. And years ago, I'm an undercover geek. I love technology. I love everything about it. And so I'm always trying things, and I'm not afraid to break it. And so I realized early on that a lot of communication got lost in text messages. A lot of it, everyone liked email, but the rates were already at like 40-50% back then. So people weren't opening their emails. Texting was starting to become a thing. So how do I engage at a higher level? And it really was the ability to then communicate effectively, right? When we're talking about loans and houses, people are emotional. And if you just send back a response, that's open for interpretation, however they're feeling that day. And so I wanted to make sure that there was a way I could communicate what we were doing, why we were doing it, how we were doing it, especially with so many options on the table. And a lot of times we work while other people work. And so they're like, hey, man, I know you have all this time to look at houses and do stuff all day long, but I got a job. Right. So I don't. But so then I needed to figure out how could I give them massive amounts of information. Maybe they watch the video at their lunch break, chew on it, talk to their partner, we get on the call later that night. So early on, I was an adopter of video. BombBomb seemed like a natural fit for a couple of reasons. I was at a trade show and I saw the booth and I said, okay, I've been looking at it online for a while. I was at a trade show, went up and tested it for a couple of times and thought, okay, this is going to be the most convenient thing going forward. Because not only does it need to work, it's got to be easy for me or I won't do it.
Totally. I love that. I mean, I think there's a couple of huge nuggets in there just from the first talk of you're a talker, right? You're able to communicate, you feel like more effectively when you're in that face-to-face thing. I think your addition of I can record it when I want to, they can watch it when they need to, is a really understated piece of this. I mean, Alicia, you talk about that a decent amount.
Yeah. And one of the things that I hear clients tell me about this, and I'd love to hear all three of you, your thoughts on this, is that especially when you're talking about like communicating important information during the day while people are at work. Because if you call me at work to tell me the documents that I'm still missing or all of the things that need to happen, well, number one, I'm at work, so I have to push that to the back burner. But then if you only spoke to me and now at 5:30 when I'm sitting down to dinner with my partner and we're trying to discuss what needs to happen, now you're expecting that I can convey all of that information correctly. Whereas if you send the video to both of us, we both get to watch it, we can sit down at dinner, discuss it, and so you have more of a completed loop. Tom, tell us a little bit about, number one, what got you into it. And then I want you to hear from you the piggyback on that, like being able to send it and they get to consume it when it makes sense.
Yeah, so for me, I started video, 2006, when it was hard. And meaning it was hard to create, curate, edit, post, send, right? But I created video for one reason, and that's differentiation. I believe as a salesperson, that's all we all are. Our biggest problem is a problem of differentiation. How are you perceived as different from the herd? And for us to recognize, we all think we're special, right? Mama said we're special. But the marketplace does not believe that. And as a matter of fact, when they find out what you do, and I love this, we have this industry panel right now of mortgage, real estate, and insurance. Every single one of us are commodities in the market's eyes, right? It's just like, oh, you're one of them. So video for me was a way to overcome, number one, differentiation. I could also then communicate, and this is playing on what you just said, Alicia, I could also communicate complex concepts in a format they could watch over and over again, right? That they could tractor back over what I just said. Like, let me just see if I get that. Selfishly, when I started doing it, it made my life more efficient, right? I could say it one time and let people go through it, as opposed to me having a long, drawn out, rehashing educational conversation. I love the educational aspect, but video gives me the ability to get out what I want to say. And truthfully, for me, maybe a little bit like Ryan here too, I can think faster and speak faster than I can type. So if I'm trying to type or I'm trying to thumb, I just get frustrated because I can't say it. Then I make grammatical errors and stuff like that. And those are huge issues for me. So I get really busted up by the blinking cursor when I can just open BombBomb and say what I want to say. I mean, and this is really important. There's no scripting. There's no covering errors. There's no starting again, right? It's just make your point. And for me, that's where this has evolved to, that I can just simply communicate. And then it's interesting how people can watch it over and over again. Just like you said, Alicia, we get home, now we can share, we can go back and forth. I'm out on all of that. So that is professional leverage that makes a huge difference to me.
One thing I did just want to mention, because we do have non-customers that are on, Tom said, there's no re-recording. You just say what you're going to say. I do want to specify that you can re-record the video. It's not a like, I know Facebook Messenger, if you try and send a video on Facebook Messenger on mobile, as soon as you take your thumb off the record button, it sends the video automatically, which don't worry, you don't have to worry about that. You get a chance to record it. You can watch it back. You can trim it if you need to. You can re-record before you send. Just wanted to clarify that. We're getting tons of things in Q&A already about the people that are on want to hear like what you guys use it for in your day-to-day. Like, so Marilyn, I want to jump back to you and kick us off. Like, what are some of the ways that you use it on a regular basis in your day-to-day?
So my number one reason right now is to communicate, because we are in an insurance crisis in California. I use it as a tool to communicate rate change or to really go over renewals, changes in their policy for renewals. Maybe we need to look at, hey, there's a discount available. Did you know about this? This is what we need. But right now, my focus is on renewals. I'm trying to love on my existing clients to make sure that they know what's happening.
Which, as an insurance agent, renewals are very, very important to your business, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Well, I've talked to enough insurance agents to go like, man, if I can keep up with those, it's the whole idea of kind of repeat and referral, whatever business you're in, right? It's way
Right.
easier to keep clients than it is to go find new ones. It's kind of that mentality, correct?
Correct.
That's great. Do you have any specific types of videos? You talked about some discounts. You talked about there being an insurance crisis. So I'm sure there's a lot of education in that. I know I just talked with my insurance company and was, going, I noticed our car insurance has gone up drastically. And they're like, yeah, because we're paying a lot of money for stuff right now, So educating, are those kind of the main focuses for you in those, or are there other things that I'm missing as well?
I record a video specific to each client. So it's not one video that I shoot out to everybody when it comes to renewals. It's specific to them.
Great. I love that.
Which is really powerful, especially because if they're already seeing Marilyn and they already feel comfortable with her, and then she's providing that education ahead of renewal, the likelihood that they're going to go start shopping around decreases dramatically just by her showing up in that email, in the video, and just letting them know what's coming. So such a powerful way.
Ryan, what are some of the top ways you've been using it? Obviously you said, and for everybody out there, just so you have a reference, Ryan, I was looking at your account, you've sent 4,500 videos. So you've sent a ton of videos, right? Now, I don't say that to scare anybody. Marilyn, I was looking in yours and you're at a couple hundred. So you're earlier in that journey, and that's amazing too, right? There's no right or wrong. I don't want you to think, oh, you have to get to certain numbers to be amazing at this. We're all on this journey. But Ryan, what have you found to be some of the top ways that you're really consistently using it?
So I'll tell you the one that I think I got 3 or 4 that I can tell you. The first one's pretty easy. So I think the greatest upgrade you guys ever did was the Gmail extension, right? So you've got the Google extension. I think I probably video more emails than I type anymore. So for instance, I'm a real estate broker, right? We closed the deal and you saw me do this, right? Well, what happens when this starts on the video? So now title, escrow, lender, co-op agent, buyer, seller, everybody's on an email and they see a guy doing this. Well, who doesn't want to be clapped for it, right? And then literally it's 30 seconds. Holy great freaking job, everybody. Smooth transaction. I know we still got to clean some stuff up, but this is what I'm talking about. Teamwork makes the dream work. And suddenly everybody in their grind is just getting a little applause in the middle of the day. I'll send an email if I want to communicate something to my family, because it's embedded inside Gmail. So I don't have to log into anywhere else. I don't have to go anywhere else. I literally open up Gmail, hit record, and I just talk, send, go. So it makes follow-up incredibly powerful, especially in negotiations, right? If I'm representing a buyer and I want to send it to the listing agent, hey, how you doing? It's Ryan. Wanted to put a face with the name. Here you go. Here's the offer. Here's what it looks like. So the Gmail extension for me is the top way I use it daily. The second thing I use it for is recording information, listing presentations, counter offers, things like that. And then I'll be able to send that out. The call to action button is kind of cool too, because in the call to action button, sometimes I put click here to sign your documents, and it's just a link out. So if they want to, right, it's very specific for the customer. And then the third way is part of my blog and some of the other marketing stuff that I do is video based. And so if I want to teach a lesson, if I want to do a 45-minute class, I'll use BombBomb to record it and then disseminate it out to the agents, splice it, put it up on YouTube. So I use BombBomb, and I do that. I probably do 2 a week where I'm using it just as a recording device, because it'll allow you to go 30, 40 an hour, hour and a half, compress it to a file that's easy to upload. So I would say the Gmail extension every single day, I don't know, 15, 20 emails a day go out like that, if not more. Then I would say for the recording side of it, and then for educating the consumers with their documentation.
Oh my gosh, there's so much in that. I honestly, anybody out there that works in any industry, but especially if you're a broker or a realtor, grab one of those things he just said and say, I'm going to do it here. I mean, all of those. I love that you talk about the CTA. I worked in real estate a little bit before I started here at BombBomb. The easier we can make it for our clients to do what we need them to do, the less friction there is, right? The less back and forth we have to do to get them to sign those documents.
Yeah.
So these extra little
The
tools are awesome.
the fun fact about what I love about BombBomb is, so the CRM that I use for follow up, right? So leads come in, or I'm just communicating, hey, happy 4th of July, like a regular holiday campaign, is you can record the video, copy it and paste it into my CRM because it reads the HTML. And suddenly, instead of a happy 4th of July with a silly little flag, it's you talking to them with some music and a video. And that just goes out every year. So you could build that one shot, hit play, let that thing auto go out. And now everybody's getting video touches throughout the year as well. So being able to navigate that is it. You said you have non-customers on here. If you're thinking about buying it, just buy it for the Gmail extension. The rest of it is all super and amazing. Gmail extension will change your life.
I love that. Tom, we want to hear from you how you're using it in your day-to-day, but I just want to, again, pick up a couple things that he said and answer some questions while we're at it. Ryan mentioned the CTA button. For every single video that you record inside of BombBomb, you have an opportunity to add a custom call to action button that sits up in the top corner. You get to call the button whatever you want it. So if it's your documents, if it's to sign your documents, it can say, click here to sign your documents. You could put a calendar link there. So schedule here. You could put a link to your Google reviews that says, see what our clients are saying about us. And then on that video, they just click on it and it takes them directly to that link. And you get the tracking information to know that they clicked on your call to action as well. Second thing, before we pass it back to Tom, I saw lots of there in the chat about like, how do you use Gmail? I threw the link there in the chat for how do you install the Chrome extension. We also do have an Outlook extension, which I saw lots of questions about that. Again, if you go to bombbomb.com/integrations, it'll show you all of our integrations and they're live buttons. So if you click on it, it'll show you how to add that extension. So we do have Outlook and Gmail and that Chrome extension as well. Tom, tell us, what are you using? How are you using it in your day-to-day? What's your standard kind of videos that you use to make your life easier?
First of all, I always respond back to every new lead with a personal video attached to it. And so I think in today's day and age, that's missing. I think there's an assumption that even in a relationship-driven business, people need to see your face. They need to know where you are. They need to have a way to connect, right? We are still a culture that connects almost tribally, right? We need to be able to do that. So very fast videos, Alicia, I will typically say things as corny as, hey, it's Tom. I just wanted to let you know I'm a real person. I'm sitting right out of our area right now. I'm looking forward to connecting. Down below is the thing I want you to do, whatever it is, go, right? So it's usually 30, 40 seconds. That's all that it is. Amazingly, that gets so much commentary from people. And they will say things like, that alone is an amazing video. And I didn't do anything except, hey, right? That's all it is. I will sometimes, and I would tell the whole team, customers and non-customers alike. I recently had somebody, an agent, respond back to me. So here's a couple of tidbits here. An agent didn't know anything about this product, right? So we are differentiating by being different. I used my cell phone welcome message and he called me back to talk about the product. Like, dude, is that AI? Is that really you or is that AI? And it just sparked this conversation. Like, no, bro, it's really me. This is, that's why I do this. So my number one video, Alicia, is always immediately back to any referral. My role in the organization is not just a producer, although I do a lot of that. But I also use it to communicate among the team. I can use it to make my communication to other team members clearer. I typically will use it in this way. I got a little rule of thumb that says if an email is longer than 2 or 3 sentences, I need to send a video. If we spend too much time in email, we're just wasting everybody's attention, right? So that's kind of how I choose to do that. But primarily, I am always immediately going back to a new client who doesn't know me or anytime I'm updating them.
Yeah. Tom, you have some pretty great success stories. Will you share a success story with us?
Yeah, so I love these things, and I'll share a compounded BombBomb. Since we're all in the same business on the panel here, I had a new referral that came in. I sent a video back. Now, I also knew something about this referral from the sales agent as a retired but still working military analyst. This is a very detailed guy. He also was Eastern European, but he was very deep with his bank, right? And I'm an independent mortgage bank. He's deep with his depository bank. I recorded a little scenario, fired it back to him and his agent, right? This agent I'd never communicated with, but Ryan knows how this goes. Put everybody in. So I send it out. Hey, I'm Tom. I'm the real guy. Just want to connect. This is my thing, how I'm different. Yak, yak. Literally within 1 minute, I have a video back from his agent who is a BombBomb customer. And all of a sudden, we're BombBomb buddies, right? Now, I've changed everything because he responds in my video and he's like, look at that. So we're doing that. But then while I'm watching his video, my 73-year-old Russian analyst pings me back through my video. He records a video back to my comment and says to me, Tom, I like Wells Fargo, but I like your presentation better. I select you. And so, just like that, we transcended culture and idiom or really how they practice. And I overcame all of that without ever showing him what he wanted to see. And so, as a platform or format, it gives people something that's completely different than what they're expecting. And again, I'll go back to my earlier conversation. That's differentiation. He saw immediately how I was different. I know that Ryan can express himself differently. I know that Marilyn expresses themselves differently when we show up in video. If we're just in text or email, especially if it's formatted, that's not going to cut it anymore. You get that from 1,000 people, right? But you can only hear from me one time. And can I tell you this neat thing that just happened to Alicia as a success story?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, again, as relationship managers, right? If we painted stuff on the wall here, it would say relationships matter most. That's the #1 criteria in my business and in my life. So I had a client reach out to me. He happens to be a Hollywood videographer, but don't think of it as just like I shoot a camera. This guy flies drones and very, very sophisticated fixed aerial video platforms. He travels all over the world and makes movies we've all seen. I don't know how I got hooked up with this guy, but it's kind of cool. He sends me a request to do a little project for him. I had to tell him, me doing this project is not the best for either one of us, but here's some places that you could go to get that done. And I'm telling you, team, you can't send that in an email because they will hear the negativity in their tone, not in your tone, right? So you have to manage the tone of that. So I send him a really quick BombBomb. Here's the thing that's powerful. This is a very sophisticated videographer. I pulled it up just to see it again. He goes, thank you. That is such an amazing reply. That's amazing on so many levels. The honest approach and the platform is fantastic. This is a Hollywood videographer. And I sent him a 47-second BombBomb. My point to that is he still reaches out to me as the hub of his life. And we accomplished all that on one simple video. And that's just, again, as a success story, I think is the power application of all this. Super simple. I am stuck because I'm a banker. I have to operate in the Windows environment. I'm fundamentally a Mac, right? I'm a Mac and an iPhone guy. So I operate in Outlook. He sends me an email. I just open it, hit the Outlook recorder and send it, right? It's just, so for me, it's super fast. I see Ryan has a Gmail way that he does it. I didn't even know that existed until today, but I operate primarily, Alicia, as a best practice. I'm just opening the BombBomb icon in Outlook. I record it, send, record, send. So that's how it works for me.
And we've had a bunch of questions about that as well of, should I have both? Do I need one or the other? It's really about you. It's where do you work? Where do you live? That is the whole point of those, is not necessarily that they add all of these fancy pieces depending on where you're at. It's just giving you accessibility in the place you already live. Yep. So don't feel like if you have both and want both, totally get them both. That's up to you. But it's all about, where do I spend the most time? Where do I reply the most? Yeah. So yeah, Gmail. I did also post the link a little bit ago. If you scroll up in chat to all of our integrations, we have 70 plus integrations. Some were built by us, some were built by other people. So there's a lot of complexity to how each of them work. But I will say that I do log into BombBomb a decent amount. I live in the Chrome extension. That is where I record 95% of my videos, just because that's where I'm at. So just think about where you live the most, and that's what you want to look into as far as connecting video and BombBomb and some of those pieces. Ryan, I saw you nodding a lot to some of the things Tom was saying there. Do you have similar success stories or similar kind of things that came to mind as he was talking through some of that?
Yeah, I think he's just spot on, especially with you only get one shot, right? Everyone's inundating them. Our markets are saturated with the same in everybody's perspective. And so how do you do that? And that quick reply, that's why I love the extent. I'm in and out depending on where I'm at, right? I'm literally standing at the end of a cul-de-sac watching guys getting ready to paint a house. But the reason I wanted to say that is like, when we do this is how customers get to know you. It's the whole know, like, and trust thing. So I would say a lot of, Marilyn said, video text messages. I may or may not, depends if you're wearing a wire right now, be driving down the road and just talking, recording a video and press send on a text message, right? I'll pull up. So people get used to seeing the inside of the truck. People get used to seeing a house because I'm there. And when you're connected to a hotspot, for everyone that's in the industry, at somebody's house, or you're leaving or you're out previewing homes for them, very easy to just either use the app or log right into Chrome and say, "Oh, you're never going to believe this. This house is for you. Look." Right? A lot of videos, if you try to record an iPhone or a Droid, and you go in there and try to record a video, it's too long. You can't send it via text. But right. You use your BombBomb app, you're doing virtual tours for people. You're walking through stuff. You're looking at something like, okay, I was looking at this for somebody else, but you're going to love it. And then you just record it. It compresses it. You send them a text and off they go. I would say the greatest success story, literally, I ended up getting 6 listings in one video. So, client, loved her, 2008 market crashes, sell her a bunch of rentals. It's great. Everybody loves everybody. Well, I told you we had a property management company. She says, hey, I think I'm going to manage them myself. I might go with this guy who got me into the industry to do the management that way. Yeah, not a problem. Tom, he hit the nail on the head. Relationships matter. I'm not very good at relationships, which is why I also like video, because it helps people remind people that I'm a human, because I get very sort of transactional in it. A couple years go by, 4 or 5. We don't stay in touch. I get an email. Hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I'd like to do this. I'd like to do that. I'm in the Home Depot parking lot. Immediately grab my laptop, open up Google. I'm still a laptop guy, even though I'm on my video now. Grab Google Chrome, and I'm like, Cindy, are you crazy? Of course I remember you. What about this? What about that? She immediately replies back. So good to see your face. Missed your smile. Here's what I'm thinking about doing. What can we do? So I sat in the Home Depot parking lot, valued all 6 of her rental properties, put the spreadsheet together, cranked it all. There happens to be a Starbucks in the same parking lot, but that's all right. So got it all dialed, did a full presentation on the back of the truck, like I'm standing right now, did a full presentation, recorded the whole thing, said, I know you're in class right now. Take a look at this tonight and give me a call. I just got an email back that said, sell them all, they're yours. That was it. 2 BombBomb videos in a 4 to 5 hour period, 6 listing later. Here we go. So success all day long like that, because it puts you, people love technology. They do. But at the end of the day, people love people. Tom said it. We're still tribals, communities, right? We still got our Facebook groups and our Instagram groups, and we're still this people and that people. So when you're able to take the black and white out or the email out, and you're able to leverage technology while still creating a relationship with somebody, it's a game changer.
Yep. There's just so many things. Like my brain is in 50 places at once, but I love that idea. I think what's really great, Ryan, about what I'm hearing from you is it's become so ingrained in how you respond to people. There's just not any opportunities you don't necessarily think about video, right? And if you're out there and you've never used it or haven't used it much, don't be upset with yourself that you're not there yet. He sent a lot of videos, so it takes time to get to that point. But I do want you all to hear, there is not a bad time to send a video and connect with somebody. There really are. I mean, we did a webinar a few months ago about the worst video that we ever had to send because something really bad happened. A really frustrating incident happened. Great time to build that connection and say, I'm sorry that this happened this way. You know, that is on me. I've heard story after story after story of, I could have lost that client altogether, but I sent a video, we reconnected, and we were able to understand the human elements of this kind of stuff moving forward. There's just so many cool things there. Marilyn, do you have any kind of aha moments or any of those fun stories that you've had from some of the videos you've sent?
Whenever I send a video, I get responses. I don't know what happened, but my videos seem to go into people's spam folders.
Mm.
And then Ryan, I forgot what the tip was, but I asked Ryan about it. It's like, what am I doing wrong? Maybe people just don't want to see me, or they just delete. I don't know. But I don't even remember the trick that Ryan told me to do. So I did it. And so now my view rates have gone up tremendously. But people just respond so much quicker with, so nice to see your smiling face, or sometimes we'd never meet in person. Just depends on geography, right? And so it was like, it's so cool to make the connection this way.
Okay, so everybody wants to hear this trick. We've got a million chats. I want to know the trick. We've had so many questions about, I love it, I send it, but I'm not getting my videos played as much.
Even before Marilyn said that, I was like, we're gonna have to address this because lots of people are talking about it in chat. I'm gonna give my professional, my BombBomb expertise and talk about this. And then I am curious what Ryan may have told her, but there's a few things, okay? So the first thing that you need to remember is if you are sending from the BombBomb platform to a list of people, which I know there are a lot of our BombBomb customers that only use it that way. You use it like a newsletter and you're sending from your BombBomb account to a whole list of people, okay? You have to understand that email is not necessarily going to spam, okay? It may be being put into a Gmail promotions folder. Because if you are sending a mass email from our third-party platform, Gmail is very correctly identifying that as marketing more promotional material. Okay, so that's the first thing. You need to verify whether they're actually going to spam or not. It might just be going to a promotion folder, which people are like, oh, that's spam. No, it's not. Gmail is categorizing it as marketing materials, okay? Number two, if you are just sending a video, regardless of whether this is from your Gmail, your Outlook, your Chrome extension, your CRM, if you just send the video with no accompanying text to it, okay, there is less chance that they're going to play the video. There is a chance that their inbox might actually categorize that incorrectly as spam because there's no text in the email. All that the email server sees is code, is video code, okay? So you always want to make sure that you include text with your email. If you're sending from Gmail or Outlook, it is not coming from our third-party servers. If you are using the Gmail or the Outlook extension, it is no different than if you are just sending a regular email, okay? So in that case, if you are sending from Gmail or Outlook, and people are telling you that they indeed did find your video in spam, there is something wrong with your email address. Out in your email address fingerprint has gotten bad marks against it. The internet gods have decided that you send spammy email. Reach out to our support team. We can help you with that, okay? But the best things that you can do to make sure that your message is hitting their inbox is number one, make sure you have accompanying text with it above the email. Hey, Ryan, I recorded you a quick video as a follow-up to our conversation. Press play. Let me know if you have any questions. And then if you're sending directly from Gmail and Outlook, you don't even have to worry about the third-party sender piece whatsoever. Last thing I want to say on this is that if you are sending via the BombBomb platform as a third-party sender, it's no different than sending from your CRM or anything like that. Anytime you are sending mass communication from a third-party sender, you got to make sure your list is good, okay? You've got to make sure that it has a good text to image ratio. And you got to make sure that your people know that it's coming from you. They're expecting those kind of things, just good email practices. Ryan, anything that I missed that you told Marilyn that's a secret?
That was fantastic. No, well, just one thing that I learned, right? Because I geeked out at first and I built all these beautiful templates and all these beautiful showcases inside the BombBomb platform. And I had buttons here and links here. I must have had 30 links in one. And when you overlink an email, they see that as spam and they dump it. Doesn't matter what you're doing. So that's what I told her. I said, hey, look, you're going to get excited because it's fun and it's easy and it's pretty. Don't overlink it. Don't have so many hyperlinks in there that this thing freaks out. And for me, I found that my open rate went up, or watch rate went up when I started using it right out of Chrome, the Chrome extension. I know Chrome now has or Gmail even has it now where you can save templates. So if you really do like that formatted template, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, the formatted templates are sexy. Get in the platform, create a newsletter, do something. But people just want the information. You go into Outlook or that Chrome extension, it's a game changer for you. One CTA, one call to actions, 2 or 3 lines of text message. Hey, good chatting to you. Let me know how we can help out. See you soon. Go. They're gonna open it. They're gonna watch it. It doesn't look different. It doesn't feel. Your video is enough difference. You don't need the blue headers and the purple sides and all of that. The simplicity of the Outlook and the Gmail extension changed everything.
Tom, have you found any tricks that you've done that have helped you from getting watch rates up? I mean, that's been I just went through and cleared out like 5 or 6 different Q&A questions about this topic. How do I get my video watched more? So what are some best practices you've learned over the years?
So for me, I am ninja-like and surgical, meaning I don't broadcast. When I want a response, I'm going directly to them, directly from me. So I'm not a broadcaster. I am actually looking for a very specific outcome. So I hear people saying these things about, I got spam and all that stuff. I have no spam problems. And again, I'm just running from Outlook directly to a person or 2 or 3, right? But they're people that I'm engaged with. I did learn early on, or sometime back, the BombBomb crew said, hey, here's how you do it, right? Do it. Hello, here's a line, here's a video, here's a summary. That cheats the system. I just do it. I don't even think about it. I just like, hey, here's a quick update in the video below. Poof, out it goes. I don't have any problem with it. But for me, Kevin, the thing I would say is I may be the anti-user in that I use it very surgically. I'm not looking for broad. I'm looking to get narrow. And so that to me is the best application I'm kind of with Ryan. Every video I send looks exactly like me right now. Sometimes the blur is on, sometimes it's not. But it's just me sitting here talking this way. So there isn't anything about it looking cute or fancy because none of those things are me. But just be very, very specific about where you're going and your results will be incredible. If you go really wide, well, there are systems in place in this country to eliminate going wide. Just know you're fighting the tide. And that to me is a waste of time. That for me, I just can't do that.
Sure. I think that's really good advice. One other thing, Alicia, I'll add in real quick. We talked a lot about the technical aspects of things that you can use and work with. I'll tell you what, using that first 3 seconds of your video is a really important piece of this as well. If you're sending a personal video like Tom was talking about, and you're sending it specifically to Alicia, get a little app. I'll even show you some apps on your phone where you can write, hi, Alicia, hold it up on your phone, exactly like Alicia's holding up there. Give people that visual representation that this is just for them. We all want to hear what people are saying about us. Like Ryan was mentioning earlier, we all love the applause. Yeah, we also want to know, like, what are you saying about me? What's going on in this, right? We have to earn the trust for them to click play. We have to earn that. And the way we do that is by showing them, this is for you. I did put thought and energy into this. This is not a massive blast that 1,000 people are getting. So have fun with that first couple seconds. Add movement, even just simple waving and things like that are going to make people go, oh, that guy's smiling and waving. I'm going to be more likely to play that. We've even found some funny ones as well. If I literally just record the video walking on my phone instead of sitting at my desk, it's different. People aren't expecting to see that. It's just me with a background moving. So get creative. We have acronyms. We have all sorts of stuff that we can give you strategies on that. But ultimately, just have fun with the beginning of your video. Always smile, always wave, personalize with the name. Things like that will really, really help you, aside from just the technical stuff that we're working around as well. Alicia, what were you going to add there?
Yeah, we've been talking about the open rate and the play rate and all of that, people are asking more questions about that. And one of the themes is that, like, well, what's a good open rate or what's a good play rate? And I just want to make sure you understand that you have to have a different expectation based on the kind of communication you're sending, right? If you're like Tom or Ryan that are general, and even Marilyn saying the one-to-ones for the renewals. If primarily what you're sending is a one-to-one video from you to one person that you already know, then you're going to see a much higher open and play rate than if what you're primarily doing is sending mass communication out to your database, like from your CRM. So like honestly, industry open rates on like mass communication, your average open rate is like less than 10%, right? But for one-to-ones, you can always expect to have a really high open rate if you do a good job of letting them know there's a video and that they should play the video, right? Always include text with it, even if you're sending it as a text message, right? Make sure that when you send that video as a text message, you send a line of text along with it and say, hey, I recorded you a video to introduce myself. If it's one-to-one, then you can expect your open and play rates to be really, really high if you follow our best practices. If you're sending mass communication as newsletters, you need to remember that you have to keep your expectations reasonable, because video will help you with mass marketing and it will help you get more click-through on a newsletter, but industry standard on that type of communication is low.
Oh man, we have so many questions. I feel like we could go in a lot of places, but I want to be respectful of the last few minutes here, and try to narrow down to some themes and things that we're hearing. Again, thank the three of you so much. I mean, I can't tell you the last time I've seen the chat move like this. So this is incredible. We're creating really, really great conversations that I think are exciting. One of the questions was actually somebody from Ireland asked a question about this, about tone in the video itself. Do you use tone differently depending on who you're reaching out to or what you're trying to say? And then kind of a follow-up to that is somebody who was talking about they're feeling self-conscious about how they look and sound and video and some of that sort of stuff. So I think those are a little bit wrapped together, but take that wherever you want to. Did you feel any of those kind of self-conscious hurdles when you first started? And then how do you kind of navigate tone when you're talking to people? Marilyn, I saw you nodding, so I'll throw it to you first on that.
I am terribly self-conscious, and I kind of plan my video days, like make sure my hair's done, makeup's done, how do I look? But then one day I came in, it was super hectic. Things went sideways and I needed to reach a few people because they had some billing issues that needed to be addressed. And it was a Sunday, no makeup, my hair was up in a bun. And I just said, I'm sorry, but I've got to communicate this to you. This is urgent. And I think authenticity always wins. And sometimes I do re-record my BombBomb because maybe the window cleaner happened to be behind me and they were making a lot of noise. Or if I'm at home, one of our neighbors has roosters and it's super annoying. But I think authenticity, and if I choke up a little bit, or I don't know, like something sounded weird, I just go with it because the communication is coming from me and I'm a flawed human being.
Marilyn, that is the best piece of advice that a lot of people on here need to hear. This is the number one thing I've had to talk with people. Alicia, I bet you relate too. Over my years here at BombBomb, thousands and thousands of people that feel that self-consciousness. A follow-up quick on that, and then I want to hear Tom and Ryan, your guys' thoughts on this as well. But how did you help yourself overcome that? How did you kind of help yourself come to that realization of that authenticity, that realness? Was it just being put in the situation where you kind of had to, or was
I still struggle with it? Like,
sure. Sure.
I still do.
Well, I appreciate that honesty a lot, Marilyn. I think, like I said, a lot of us need to hear that. Tom, what do you think about kind of the tone, empathy? Were any of those hurdles that you had to overcome when you were starting with video as well?
You know, I feel tone is really important, and the tone for me has to always just be authenticity. And I've seen several things go by in the chat, even a long ways back. Somebody said, you know, what about my location? What about my tattoos showing? What about? And I'm like, to me, my answer is recognize who you are and recognize if you're concerned about people seeing those things, they're not your customer. So just forget that, narrow in, right? You're always going to do better narrower, not wider. So stop looking up and out and look down and into what you're doing and be yourself. I am extremely gawky, not coordinated. I'm not handsome. I'm not an athlete. I'm not all these things, just like what Marilyn says. Like, I am actually profoundly insecure. So this is a character I play in real life, but I've done it for 45 years. So I get really comfortable with this character, but I need to leave and recover in private, right? So I can't do BombBomb in that way. I can't even talk with clients in that way. So, I just let go of all the pretense and just realize, well, here's a great example, I guess, to answer your question. All of us know, you talk to somebody and you go, ooh, I really don't like that person. We all feel like we're never that way, but the key is to remember that you are that for somebody, right? And so I realized that I'm not going to make everybody happy, and I can kind of piss people off, for lack of a better word, but I'm going to narrow in, and I know my niche, and I'm an old guy with gray on my face, and that's what I do. So, my encouragement, just like Marilyn says, and I know this, I don't know Ryan, but Ryan's only got one way to roll. So it's easy to see who he is and what he does, and that's awesome. So I would say for everybody, your tone is your authentic tone, because that's for the people who will do business with you, that resonates. The good news is it'll kick 95% of the ones who will not do business with you to the curb, and you don't have to deal with them anymore. It's way more efficient.
Hey, that's another way to save yourself some time.
Thank you so much, Tom. That literally brought me to tears. Thank you so much for that.
Let's hug it up. That's awesome. I love that. Good for you.
All right, Ryan, what do you have to add to that, man?
Yeah, I think tone is important, different than identity. And we'll talk on identity in a second, but the tone is correct, right? Meaning we've all gotten an email back on a transaction that we're, a sales piece that we're on. And you're like, are they really being that way right now? There's no freaking way. Show them and we go get it, right? But the tonality is, you can change you might even be right. It might be a snarky email to you, but you can come on and say, hey, I just received your email. Thank you so much. It's wonderful. And you took a 10 to a 2 in one email simply by the tone in which you project. So I think the tonality in which you speak is critical, right? Don't not be yourself, but I think you can control the tone and the temperature of the conversation. So I think tonality is important, and it's one of the greatest things about this, right? Your consumers are going to know how you actually feel. Your customers are going to know, right? So I think the tonality is critical. With the identity thing, look, you can't say much more than what Tom and Marilyn said. You got to be you, right? Tom said, Ryan only rolls one way. And Emma said, oh yeah, how's that? But I know the answer, wide freaking open. That's what we do, right?
Go,
we just go. And being I was a recruiter for real estate for a couple of years. And, was like, well, I'm a transactional agent. Well, I'm a relational agent. And so those things always played within me well, because if we're being honest with ourselves, I'm probably not a really good relational agent based off of the industry standards. I'm legit when it comes to the transactional, like humbly, we're going to get it done. You want something, we're going to go get it. It's one way, Tom, right? But some of the relation stuff around it, not so much. But what I learned, so I'll give you a sad story. I told you how awesome I was. I took 6 listings and 2 videos. One lady literally wanted nothing to do with me. She thought the videos were too much. I was up in her face. I was too aggressive. And she deselected that, lost the deal right out of the gate, right? Tom's point, it doesn't matter. She wasn't my customer anyways, right? She was looking for something that I couldn't give her, and you just had to do that. That we try to be, especially in our industry, I'll speak for real estate now. I won't curse lending and insurance. There's a lot of pretentiousness. There's a lot of fakeness. There's a lot of, look at me and my Gucci bag. How many people do you know are going to take this call with a whole bunch of hundreds of people on there at the back of their Chevy pickup truck with a bougainvillea tree behind them, instead of look at me in my amazing office, right? At some point, you see me dancing around. 1, I can't sit still, and 2, I'm getting lit up by mosquitoes. But if I was trying to be all super professional, right, and look at me and I'm get out of here. So I think 100% you have to be who you are. And that's the point of this. It's the point of this entire thing was, for once in your life, there's a piece of technology that just allows you to be you. And the customers that already know, like you, and trust you are going to say, yay, I get to see him more. And those who want to be in business with you are going to say, I absolutely love that person. And they're going to come do business with you. You have to just be, I don't rewatch them and edit them. Chickadee, 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 send. Chickadee, chickadee, send. Doesn't matter. Don't waste the time. You are who you are. You speak how you speak. You could say it 5 times and you're going to say it the same way. Maybe, oh, I messed up here. I messed up there. Then the devil gets in your head. You are built a certain way to impact certain people. Just go be you. The world needs it.
I love it.
Amen.
Listen, guys, this has been probably one of the best sessions we've done in a while. Everyone in chat has been so grateful for the three of you and for all of your wisdom. I know Kevin and I we're so grateful for this. This was awesome. A couple housekeeping items to wrap it up. Number one, if you are not a BombBomb customer and you want to give it a try, we offer a 14-day free trial. I'm going to drop this in the chat right now. Go sign up for the free trial. Try it out. They shared so many ideas with you of things you could do. So go ahead and give that a try. Second thing, yes, this is absolutely recorded and we will be sending out the recording. So don't worry about that. There were a lot of questions that we didn't get to. There's no possible way we could get to it all. Our panelists are three busy professionals and we want to get them back to their days. They already gave us an hour of their time. So you can also reach out to our support team if you have technical questions that were not answered. If you go to bombbomb.com or sorry,
support.bombbomb.com.
BombBomb.com. I'm throwing it in the chat. You can search our support articles. You can chat with our team there. And then lastly, next month, we're going to be talking about video strategies for customer loyalty. So we just dropped that link in the chat. Grab that link to sign up for that one. Thank you. Thank you to our panelists. Thank you so much for your time and your wisdom. Thank you to all of you that joined us. This was an awesome session. I am fired up. I don't know about you, Kevin.
Oh yeah, I needed this kind of pulse of energy this morning. Ryan, Marilyn, Tom, thank you. I'm sure you could not keep up with chat as everything was going on. There is so much love coming your three way in that chat of just going, I needed to hear this. Thank you for the advice. Thank you for the reminders. Best advice I've gotten in weeks and months.
Someone in chat said that you guys were all awesome coaches.
There you go. So I think this is a perfect example of they're just being themselves. They're showing up, they're being here, they're giving us their experience. And there's so much for us to learn from that. And I think it's a great reminder that we all have that for other people as well. So what an amazing way to just kick off this day or end it if you're in Greece or Germany or Ireland. But thank you three so very much. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate the BombBomb family more than any of you could possibly understand. And getting to spend time with you like this is just an absolute treat. So Tom, Marilyn, Ryan, thank you. We appreciate you all. For the rest of you, sign up for next month. We'd love to see you then. We're going to be talking even deeper about this stuff with loyalty and building clients. So much of what we talked about today. Otherwise, have a great rest of your August. Enjoy getting your kids back in school. We made it. Those of you that are out there, we made it. And we'll talk with you all soon. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. You know, you did a great job.
Marilyn. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you for your transparency. Nice to meet you, Ryan. Great to see your power. Really cool, guys. Thanks for this.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Ryan. I'll talk later.
Okay, I'll send you a video.